Hi, my name is Jelena and I'm Serbian language teacher and I currently reside in Belgrade. If you're new to my channel and if you like what you find here, please make sure to like and subscribe. Okay, so today I want to talk to you about a very serious topic in very simple language. I'm going to talk about your job and your identity. First of all, I found a very interesting article on Facebook that was shared by my sister-in-law. And in that article, they say that you are not your work. Because the job that you do is not who you are. So your job title does not represent your identity. And lots of people do not understand that because there's so much fixed to that title and they fix their identity around it. And I'm someone who believes in existential concept of identity, which is that identities are not fixed, they're changeable. However, there are some identities that cannot be changed, like that's something that happened in the past and that's fixed in the past, such as place where you were born, who your parents are, which are their nationalities, then the language that is your mother language. You can learn later in life other languages, but only one language or maybe two languages are your native language or native languages. So so the thing is that you should really fix. I believe that everyone has to. So the thing is that I believe that everyone has to have sort of distance to distance themselves from all the identities they have around themselves. Which means, if you happen to be married, because almost every other identity can change overnight. If you're rich, you can become poor. If you're poor, you can become rich. If you're married, your spouse can die tomorrow and then you're not going to be married anymore. Or if you're not a parent tomorrow or in 9 months time, you might become a parent. So those roles and those identities are changeable and they change over the course of life. But the only thing, in my opinion, that you can do is to stick to your core values. Values can also change over the course of life. Okay, so another thing is that education definitely does have its value, even though it's not bringing any value in economical sense. What does this mean? What I mean by this? By educating yourself, for instance, enrolling to a university, getting a university degree, getting your master's degree, that means at least 5 years of hard work, sacrifice, and lots of ups and downs, lots of failures, and lots of success. People who haven't gone to university definitely do not understand this. I'm not talking about the people who couldn't have gone to university because they have family problems, they have to stay at home to take care of their parents, of their house, maybe of their children. I'm not talking about that. People who look down on education deliberately, I'm talking about the people who think it's worthless and it's waste of time, and it's not, because there is a reason why it's structured, why it has its phases, and why you're advancing from one level to another through years. That is not something like a course that you take for a month. That is not like an online course. That is not anything like a course that you take even for several months. It's not like that. You have many and many courses at university, and you have at least 40 to 50 exams that you have to pass. So getting that degree does mean very high success, even though I encounter many and many people who are likely to say that it doesn't have any value, but that is not the case. um, how are you going to get hired with that diploma, while with that degree? Well, that can be a problem because lots of businesses are owned by people who never went to university and by people who don't know how to appreciate that. And that really is a big problem, because if you're going to work for, okay, I'm going to quote Elon Musk 2 times today. First, he said, I'm not going to do business with jerks, only nice people. So I'm not going, I really think that you shouldn't work for jerks who are going to make fool of you for your degree. Please, if you have finished university, do not accept unpaid internships. And yes, you do need some experience, but you do not need anyone to take advantage of your work in order to not pay you at all. Another thing that Elon Musk said is that he doesn't care about your degree. I've seen that video showing on YouTube everywhere. But the thing is, in order to not have a degree and to get hired by Elon Musk, you need to be some sort of super genius, higher human being that never studied any in a formal way, but however knows it. So, and Elon Musk himself has 2 degrees in economy and physics from Pennsylvania University, which is among, if not the best university in the world, then in top 1% of universities in the world. And I know that some people will say, look, Mark Zuckerberg made millions, but Mark Zuckerberg is one of a kind. And he also married a woman who has her PhD degree. So, you know, he just got lucky that his business went off so well. It exploded so early when he was his first year at university. So he just had to devote himself to that. And that's why he hasn't graduated from Harvard. But he's real one of a kind. Another thing, yes, what else? Yes, people also think everyone wants to be another Gary Vaynerchuk. But the thing is, Gary Vaynerchuk is also one of a kind. And I do really admire his drive and his charisma and his assertiveness and self-confidence and his success. But not everyone has what it takes to become Gary, and also not everyone is as entrepreneurial and as good of a salesperson as he is. So if you're you may be more of an artist, or you may be more of a mathematician or something like that. So you need to understand and find that within yourself. Maybe something that has to do the most with your identity is just to stick with what you find it the most pleasurable to do. So basically, why I even I just wanted to address some issue that I do encounter very often, and people are usually probably very delusional about what identity consists of, and what's their identity and what's other people's identity. And they're so likely, I mean, I don't care about what someone thinks about themselves, but the problem is that so many people are likely to put labels on other people, and that really is such a problem and shows how shallow they are, how judgmental and overall possessive over someone else's lives, because they want to judge it and they want to organize it and they want to label you. So I don't know, guys, just stick to your deep work. And I really think that flow it's also something that's found in a religious experience. And when you're learning and when you're reading and when you're writing, that's when you're also achieving state of flow. So I do believe in education, and I do believe in deep work, and so keep studying. Bye.